What makes me excited about Ticketry as a company is you saw a need in an industry, and that's exactly what Cage Titans was. When I was a fighter, I saw that the experiences weren't great for fighters, and they really weren't great for fans as well. And similar to you guys in the ticket industry, so to be partnering with another Plymouth company, which is near and dear to my heart, being in Plymouth, which is our home for Cage Titans, it just made sense that you saw what we saw. Give the fans a better experience. Just buying the ticket doesn't end there. There's collectibles and merchandise and perks and all the things that you're going to give them this amazing experience. And that's what really excites me. And it just so happens you guys are here in Plymouth, which we love. We love Plymouth, America's hometown. Tickets for Cage Titans 69 are on sale now. So don't wait. These tickets will go fast. 2025, let's go.
Let's go, baby! Let's hear it for Shameless Don Shainis!
It's Tom Pagliarulo, who will be looking to claim the Cage Titans featherweight strap.
Do know me, know I'm like a fan favorite just because I'm never in a boring fight, man. I'm not gonna just like fight to win. Like I'm always actually gonna bring it. So they're in for a treat.
In there isn't to just fucking get in, get out. I want to make someone quit. I want someone to scream uncle. I want someone to fucking say stop.
I think on the regional scene, I've slowly progressed in the level of fights I'm taking. I've been in wars. Like I think I'm ready for it.
Let's hear it for Shameless Don Shainis!
It's Tom Pagliarulo, who will be looking to claim the Cage Titans featherweight strap.
Do know me, know I'm like a fan favorite just because I'm never in a boring fight, man. I'm not gonna just like fight to win. Like I'm always actually gonna bring it. So they're in for a treat.
In there isn't to just fucking get in, get out. I want to make someone quit. I want someone to scream uncle. I want someone to fucking say stop.
I think on the regional scene, I've slowly progressed in the level of fights I'm taking. I've been in wars. Like I think I'm ready for it.
There you go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Table Titans. I got a little new setup going on. Hopefully you can hear me. I've been rushing around trying to get everything set up. Unfortunately, I don't have anything on the walls yet. But let me see. Can you guys hear me? Let's go. Willie can hear me, I'm assuming. Let's go, Willie. What's going on, man? Big card. But yeah, so I'm trying to set up a new home office. Andy, shout out to Andy. Weird hum going on with the audio. Let me see if I can listen to it. You hear it. Let me see if I can go. All right, how about that? Is that a little better? I'm trying to get, again, I got a new setup going on, so I'm trying to see if this works. So let's see. Weird hum. Let's see if it's gone. I want to get it gone before we get the guests on. Is that a little better? I'm trying to get. All right, cool. Sounds like it's good. All right, perfect. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, guys. But like I said, working on setting up a new home office. Andy, shout out to Andy. Andy bought a brand new puppy, so he couldn't do the show tonight. So I was like, perfect opportunity to stay home. Fucking frigid out there. So I was like, yeah, I don't have to go to the studio. I'm going to try to do something at home. I didn't get really a chance to decorate, but I ran out, kind of got some new equipment. So going to be testing that out. Hopefully it stands good. But yeah, we got a big show tonight. We got a bunch of guys calling in. We got Tom Pagliarulo. I'm totally probably butchering his name. I'll have him say it. And like I said to all the fighters, don't worry. Andy's the commentator and the ring announcer. He gets all the pronunciations correctly. He gets them solid at weigh-ins. In addition to Tommy Pags, we got Don Shainis calling in from Vegas out at Syndicate. We have Ron Marshall calling in, as well as pro debut Ozzy Martin who will be taking on Ron Marshall in his pro debut. So we got a stacked show. Going to talk to all the guys. Why I'm excited about this, obviously we all know about guys like Don Shainis. He's no shy guy to the camera. But Tom Pags is new to the Cage Titans, and but he's not new to the New England scene. So I'm excited to kind of have the first time talk to him, as I think I might have had a handful of conversations with him. If that, maybe one, maybe one at the last Cage Titans event when we were talking about maybe putting this fight together. But I'm excited to get to know him a little bit better. Training with the New England Cartel. They just announced New England Cartel member Rob Font will be taking on Dominic Cruz, or the Ruma, on February 22nd. So Tommy Pags got the big fight. Calvin Cater, who's also part of New England Cartel, I think he's fighting the second week of February. Now Font has a fight. Connor Matthews is on the 15th. So New England Cartel has got a lot of things going on. So that training room is probably nice and stacked, and they're all feeding off each other. So that's a good thing to see. So we'd like to kind of catch up, talk about that. What else do we got going on? We announced a big fight. We announced the whole card last week, but if you remember, because last week was all about the year-end awards, we didn't really get – oh, man, I just realized I didn't go onto Twitter today. I'm going to throw this on Twitter real quick. Usually a majority of our viewership's on Twitter, so I just threw it back up on Twitter. But anyways, last week we spent the majority of the show on the year-end awards, so we didn't get a chance to really hammer out the card, but we did announce it at the end of the show. Also, right now on CageTitansFC.com, you can check out the entire card, top to bottom. The entire card is up there. One thing that's got my phone going off for the first time, we just put out the graphic for the Ali Zabian and Jack Congdon fight. That was the last, that fight got put together in the last 2 weeks, and it might get lost on this card. But it's crazy because that's just an insane fight. Ali Zabian's a top 5 at 55, top 5 at 170 here in New England. So him taking on Jack Congdon, it just kind of continues the trend with Jack Congdon, looking for the toughest fights possible. No easy path, which is great to see. So it looks like we got Shainis. So just on the fight card, if you guys want, just head on over to CageTitansFC.com. Check out the entire fight card. We have 3 female fights, which is amazing. 2 amateur, 1 pro. Melissa Santos taking on Alyssa Tortora. We just booked that fight 4 days ago. In addition to that, we have Tara Whelmsley taking on Ariana Buch. Again, without Andy here to help me out with the names, Ariana Buchaccio from US MMA. That's another female amateur fight. And then, of course, which we already talked about, Natalie Schlesinger taking on Hillary Rose in the pro ranks. So there is a couple quick tidbits on the fight card. I know Don Shainis is in. I don't like to keep him waiting, and he's going to do all the talking so I can sit back and listen. Here we go, the man himself. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on? What, are you just getting out of training, or is that just your bedhead?
No. This is like post-interview, to take off a button-up shirt, fucking make some dinner, about to go to the gym here.
Nice. So interviewing, last time we talked, you said how hard it was to get a job out in Vegas. How's that job search going?
Had a second interview today with some place that's pretty big, well-known, and we'll see, dude. Nothing's promised. I had a second interview today and a audition today, so we will see. Crossing my fingers, man.
Audition.
Always hungry.
Audition. That sounds interesting. You care to share a little bit? Knowing you with your former your foot thing on Snapchat, what kind of audition you doing out there?
Oh, actually, for all the bartenders out here, what you have to do to audition at the day clubs, which is where you make bank, is you got to go to auditions. There's thousands of people there. You got to wait in line. And then what you need to do is take off your shirt. They take photos of you. They give you a 30-second interview after waiting like 2-3 hours in line. And then you hope that like you're good looking enough to get a second interview.
So basically meat market out at the day club, checking you out. And, I'm sure you had no problem doing that.
I mean, no, I have no problem taking off my shirt in front of a bunch of strangers. I like doing that. I'm going to do it in a couple weeks. It's going to be dope.
Nice. Speaking about in a couple weeks, you mentioned going to the training. So I won't keep you long. We'll just jump right into it. Obviously the Cage Titans fans know all about you. You fought almost your entire career here. Why should fans be excited about your fight coming up with Tom Pags?
So one thing I didn't realize is like you and I spoke about this fight like before my fight with Tom Santos, right? And like the timing didn't work out, and then you reached out to me and you're like, hey, well, things work out with this. Like, why don't you run with Tom Pags? I wasn't familiar with the fact that no one knows how fucking badass Tom is and how good he is and where he trains and who he trains with. That completely skipped my mind. See, I've known Tom for years. I didn't understand the general public in Plymouth wasn't introduced to Tom already. So in my mind, I'm like, fucking absolute banger of a fight, right? But it completely skipped my mind that like people didn't know. And I was like, oh shit. Like, no, he's never fought here, which fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, honestly, it is funny. I said that I did talk about that before you came on. It's like, the world that in Cage Titans, our Cage Titans bubble here in New England, like everybody knows who you are. And, and this is Tom's first introduction to us, which is I'm excited for, is because not only do I get to see him firsthand fight, because I've been watching him for a while from afar. Honestly, tonight on Table Titans will be the first time I think I've had a conversation more than, 30 seconds with the kid. So I'm excited, to get the fans to get to know him, because then I think they can truly grasp the magnitude of this fight. Because like you mentioned, in the Cage Titans world, it's like, all right, here comes another guy to fight Don Shainis, and they're not privy to the knowledge that people on the inside know. Tom Pags is a killer. So I'm glad you shared that sentiment.
Let me fill you all in, everyone watching right now. He's no joke. He's tall, he's long, he's rangy, he's very dangerous, right? He fucking trains with the New England Cartel. They got some fucking studs in that room. And like he's no one to shake your head at. He's coming to fucking hurt me. And I like danger.
We're gonna bring him on in a minute. And you guys can have a chance to talk. But like, what's something that you? What was that?
I mean, I'm not a shit talker, you know what I mean? Like I'm a competitor, but like it's gonna be a friendly conversation.
No, exactly. Like, no, it's cool. But why don't you give me something that you think you can exploit from his game without, sharing any game plans? Like, what is something that you think that you bring to the table that might just be a little bit too much, and thinks is going to separate it? The two
experience. I think my experience, I've seen so much, I've done so much, but also competing for 5 rounds, I've got in there and got fucking my hands dirty. You guys watched it with Nate Williams, but I've had other title fights too. Bryce Picode, Cody Pfister, and like those were both first round knockouts, but like I got my hands fucking dirty for 25 minutes before, and I don't think Tom ever has. I know he has a lot of finishes, and he's been tested in a couple fights, but dude, 25 minutes is a different fucking animal. And I know he's going to be in shape. I know where he trains. He trains at SOS. I know his strength and conditioning coach. He's fantastic. I know his weight's going to be on point. And this is all shit that excites me. I think that this is a fucking banger and no one even knows it.
Nice. You get me excited about it. My last thing that I'm going to ask you before we bring him on, and I'm, just to kind of get, I know Pags is in the bottom queue. So what I'll do is I'll bring you guys both on. I'll give you a chance to both talk for maybe a couple seconds, couple minutes, and then I'll let you go, Don, because I know you got to go to training, and I'll finish up with some one-on-one time with Tom Pags.
Yo, real quick though, fucking that promo Nick shot today. Fucking Nick made that promo today. Banger. He needs to do more shit like that.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, that was
okay,
sick.
Man. Anyways,
shout out right now.
We talked about I'm gonna skip over all that, but we talk about Tom Pags coming to Cage Titans for the first time, and he's had a lengthy career, and this is gonna be his first time. What Cage Titans fans do know about is the New England Cartel and what they bring to the table and that kind of training team with guys like Valdina, who's a Cage Titans staple, Connor Matthews, and then guys in the UFC like Font and Cater. One from the New England bubble might be like, all right, cool. Pag's got this huge training core. What has Shainis got? Tell us a little bit about your training, because obviously you moved out to Vegas and you've been doing that full time. What's training like going for you?
I got a ton of respect for the cartel. I'm friends with half the guys on there. But it's one of those things where it's like I left home because I wanted to train with the best in the world. The best in the world. I don't know how many world champions you get to train with day in and day out, but I know I got one. And then we got guys fighting for the title. I've trained with Forrest Griffin. He's an OG. I've trained with Brandon Moreno. He's an OG. Marab. Khalil was in the gym today. So it's like I'm surrounded by champions and soon to be champions.
Nice. So then my last question before we get to bring in Pags. Besides your fight, what's one fight that you're looking forward to on this fight card?
So, all right. There's a couple fights. Obviously, dude, I love the party. I love Valdina. That's gonna be a banger. You just announced Congdon, Ali. We'll see. I think Ali's a 55 or so. I don't know how he's doing as far as his weight, but I'm sure he's not gonna have to cut much weight. And Jack's a true 70er. Hit me with the spark notes on the card. I know Tara, dude, she's been trying to fight for you for forever. Hillary Rose is an OG. Who else? I'm trying to think.
Trevor Goody.
Trevor's on the card?
Yeah, Trevor's on the card. He's fighting Kenyon Moore out of Glover Teixeira's gym. This is a fight from last card. So Trevor's going to be on this card as well.
I wasn't even aware.
There you go. We haven't announced it yet, but we announced it last week, but we haven't fully announced it. Greg Jones taking on Kenny Champion for the OG title, which is getting a lot of fun, a lot of eyeballs. So, all right, cool. Well, without further ado, any last parting words before we bring you on at the same time with Pags?
Nah, dude, let's run it.
All right, there you go. I'm gonna bring it in. Usually I have a laundry list of sponsors. I was going to give you a shot to give that laundry list.
Dude, I've been fucking plugging sponsors left and right. Shout out to Gelato real quick. They just happen to have a can right next to me, so we'll give them a quick shout. But yeah.
All right. And did I see you making new merch for the show?
Oh, yes, please, everyone. If you're watching this, if you're not watching this, you're watching a recap. Go to my Instagram. Dude, you guys have no idea the support. I've made a whole bunch of new merch. We got t-shirts, baseball tees, hoodies. Then my sister wanted bucket hats. I made bucket hats. I made snapbacks. I was working on fanny packs. That turned out to be a pain in the ass, so we scratched that last second. But I'm trying to get fake tattoos. So, dude, go to my link on my Instagram. Click the link. Pick up some merch. DM me and I'll shoot you a little promo code. If you buy tickets from me, I will shoot you a bigger discount code. So just fucking let me know, please. And let me know when you do. Tag me in it. I'll reshare it. So that way people know, the merch is moving.
There you go. All right. Some tattoos. I don't want to keep Tom Pags waiting. So without further ado, here's the man that will be looking to take your title off your waist. Tom Pags, what's going on, my man?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up, Tom?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Sorry to keep you waiting. I know you said you like to shut your phone off at a certain time to get your rest. That's super important to you.
Yeah, I know. I'm annoying with that shit, but I'm one of those guys. I try and put that thing down after like 7 and unwind and do my thing, but duty calls, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. My phone will be on. So everyone that's missing Tom's call for tickets, hit me up and I'll fucking take care of you while he's snoozing.
You got the time zone going for you, bro. It's getting late over here.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, like I'm 3 hours behind. So when I wake up, people are already like half into their day and I don't want to text anyone past 8 p.m. Excuse me, 5 p.m. my time because I don't want to text anyone at night on like a Tuesday.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So, Tom, obviously first time fighting for Cage Titans. You've had a long career so far, 7-2 as a pro. I think 5-1 or 6-1 as an amateur. have you been to Cage Titans before this call out? And what's your thought process behind being at Plymouth Memorial Hall?
No, I know it's crazy. That was my first time ever even going there. I had a teammate fighting that night who asked me to corner him, so I was there for him. And it happened to work out that we got this fight put together at the same time. So, no, first time there. Awesome. It was cool, man. You guys are smooth. Runs fast. I thought that was like super impressive. It was just fight after fight. You cranked it out. Huge warm up area out back. I'm so used to like I fought every promotion I think in New England outside of Cage Titans, and I was joking with my coaches. I was like, it almost feels like too nice. Like it's like a nice event. It's so bright back there in the locker rooms and stuff. Like fighting in Manchester, it's like this dark kind of like crappy city. The events are awesome, but it's like it's got like this weird vibe to it. The energy at Cage Titans was like popping. So I'm excited, man.
Tom,
Yeah,
I'll
we're
tell you
excited to have you.
what you should expect. I'll tell you what right now, dude. The energy in that fucking place, like, so you and I are gonna fight each other. It is what it is, right? Dude, there's gonna be so much fucking energy in the for some reason, I don't know what it is. The energy's just different. It's just different and it's wild and it's fucking exciting and fun, man. And it's an honor to fucking share the cage with you. It's gonna be fucking crazy in there.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait. I know you sell some tickets. I know I'm selling a decent amount. So I think it's cool how small, like it's big but small. I think it's cool, like the setup. I feel like that helps. It gets loud in there. It's one of those places like the sound just echoes through that place. So yeah, man, I'm
Dude,
excited.
it's gonna be something else, man. I promise you, man. Dude, I know you're bringing a crew. Dude, you train with half my friends. It's a little fucked up, dude. You know what I mean? Dude, this is gonna be fun, man. This is gonna be really fun. And I don't think any other promotion. I fought for a ton of others outside of Cage Titans. I don't think any other promotion brings this type of energy there. It's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. We're closing in.
Let's go.
We are closing in. I'll let the bro fest simmer for a second. And before we let Don go, Tom, you were able to kind of catch what Don had to say. I saw you in the queue down low. Did anything that he had to say about this fight in particular, your skill set or anything of that stand out that as you were listening to him talk about it?
I guess thanks for the kind words. It's mutual. I know this isn't like a slouch of a fight. This is a tough fight. I try not to. When I do these interviews, I'm not like a shit talker. I get asked a lot about like, oh, what do you think of your opponent and all this stuff, and I don't really like to talk about my opponents too much because at the end of the day, it's like I feel like you don't really know shit about anyone. Every time I hear someone talk about me or their opinions on me in these interviews, it shows me how much they don't know me. So I try and keep that in mind when I'm talking on here. Like all I really know is about me, and that's what I can speak 100% on. So I know where I'm at. I know where my mind's at. I know what my mind's capable of. I know where my skills are at. So I'm excited to compete, man. That's why I do this shit. Is my love for competition. I love competing. I know he does too. I've been fucking doing wrestling and stuff my whole life since like the 4th grade, and that's just been what's kept me coming back. Is just I love getting out there and competing. So I'm excited to do that for you guys, January 25th, and have a high level opponent.
Nice. All right. Well, Don, I think I knew, and just to be clear, we're not looking for shit talk. I know you guys are both gentlemen. Sometimes we got guys like the party who's in the comment field. When we get him on a show, we know some shit's gonna fly. But you guys have always been respectable, so definitely not gonna try to push no buttons. But Don, any last thing before we let you go off to training that you'd like to say to Tom?
No, man, I wish I could hear half of it. What happened was when you were talking, the fucking volume cut out. So I missed like the last quarter of what you were saying. The general gist of it, we're both fucking gamers. We're both gonna put out. I ain't got shit to say to you, man. Like, dude, it's gonna be fucking fun. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be crazy. We're both gonna try and kill each other. Like, it is, it just is what it is, man. We're both sitting in front of each other to get to the next level. You know, I'm trying to go back. You're trying to go there, dude. This is a banger.
Yeah, man.
Perfectly
I'm
said.
excited.
Perfectly said, Don. There you go.
All right.
All right,
I
Don,
gotta
we'll
go,
let you go, my man.
I got things to do. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
All right,
Peace.
later. All right. So, Tom, man, I think this might be the first time I think we've had a conversation more than like a few words.
I know. It's it was busy that night, so we didn't get to talk too much. I know you're a busy guy running around and shit. But yeah, I'm excited to chop it up with you.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped too. You know, I'm kind of came back. You know, going into that night, this is one fight that we talked about. You there? Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
This was one fight we talked about, and I honest to God, I didn't know where Shainis was going to go. And when he kind of called your number, it was like, all right, cool, let's go. It kind of worked out well. You know, so now I'm excited to see you in there. But I'm also kind of excited to get to know you a little bit better. So why don't you bring us back to, like, you mentioned wrestling your whole life, but kind of what got you into the sport?
Yeah, I guess with wrestling, like my dad got me into that. He was a wrestler growing up and stuff, and he was actually like one of my first coaches. So he got me involved with wrestling pretty early. I was doing like karate and stuff at the time, and he asked if I wanted to try wrestling, and I did, and I kind of fell in love with that. And the more I did it, every other sport I was doing just like fizzled out. You know, I just in love with wrestling to the point where it was what I was doing year round, wrestling at clubs, traveling around, doing it. So something about like combat sports, I don't know, I just fell in love with it. And then I fell shy of my goals a little bit in wrestling, and that always kind of ate at me a little bit. So I found fighting through a friend who was getting ready for a fight that I knew from wrestling, and he asked me for some help getting ready for a fight, just like come in and wrestle with him. And I trained for like a day. I think I sparred my first day in the gym. I never really like knew how to strike or anything. I got front kicked in the face on accident by him when I took a shot. He's a big kid. He's like a middleweight. And gave me a nice black eye, and I went home with that, but I fell in love with it. I wanted to go back. I wanted to get better. I kind of have like an obsessive personality. When I try something new and I can excel at it, like I become obsessed with it, and it's all I want to do. So that was 2017, and it's all I've been doing since.
There you go, man. 7 years. You got to spill the beans. I know they say he stays in the training room. Who was that training partner?
Do you remember Jordan Faulkner? He doesn't fight anymore.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember Jordan.
Yeah, so I've known Jordan for a long time, just through wrestling and stuff. We both wrestled at Smitty's barn, and yeah, he was fighting. I don't know, did he ever fight for you guys? I don't know if he did, but he was getting ready for I think it was a title fight or something like that. And he asked if I could come in and wrestle with him and stuff, so I did. And I shot. He threw a kick, and I just remember getting, I think like his knee caught me in the face or something. But that was like my first week of training. But yeah, shout out to him getting me in there, and it gave me the bug. And now it's I love it, man. I love this stuff.
Nice. It's funny how everybody gets brought into the world somehow of MMA, and then how it just catches some people. Looking back at your career, obviously your first time fighting for Cage Titans. Why don't you give us your top 3 highlights of your career so far?
Top 3. Well, the first one is always special, right? That amateur debut. I got to fight a kid. No one gets to say they did this, but like a kid I grew up with from my hometown, went to school with. He ended up getting into boxing. And he didn't do much MMA, but he had boxed for a long time. He was like a Golden Gloves champ and stuff. My opponent fell through that week, and then he like chimed in on Facebook and was like, "I'll take the fight." We were kind of like, "You sure?" Like, it's not boxing. But honestly, looking back, kind of dangerous fight because I had never been in a fight. He'd been in a ton of sanctioned boxing fights. All I had was wrestling. I probably shouldn't have even been fighting at the time yet. I didn't have much of a stand-up game. And we sold a shit ton of tickets. A bunch of people from Haver wanted to come out and see two buddies like throw down and fight each other. So we did. I ended up getting a rear naked choke in that fight. But yeah, that was a special one. And then man, 3 of them. I'd say I'll give you on that. Go ahead.
That was a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story, man.
It's cool, man.
You know, I'm looking at his record now. You know, he had he fought a couple MMA guys in boxing. Theo Desjardins, actually, fun story. I made my pro debut against Theo in 2010. He fought him. He fought Fernando Perez, who fought for Cage Titans before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's good, man. His boxing's good. He was like 9-2 as a pro. Now he's doing bare knuckle. He's undefeated in that. He just won like a world title in like the triad bare knuckle boxing thing. So Haverhill's got like a weird thing for fighters, man. Haverhill, Mass. We breed some killers. I think
Did you
something
guys
in the
not
water.
like each other, or was it just did you not like each other?
We were always like, I just think competitive with each other. We were like chippy. I think we were both like trying to do this fighting thing, but now it's like, you know, I got no issues with him. I'm glad to see him doing his thing. He's killing it right now. It's cool to see him. Like, I think he kind of made like a full turn in like his life. Like he's like taking this shit seriously and like going all in on it. And he's just seeing the results in his work. He's killing it.
Yes, 3-fight winning streak in bare knuckle. Fucking shout
Yeah.
out to him. So you had another one that you were thinking about when we paused you on that one. What's the other one?
I'd say my like favorite fight, I think, or just moment would be my pro debut. Just because it was like in the middle of COVID. It was like March 21. I wasn't sure when I was gonna fight again, if it was gonna be amateur or pro. I just been training with Calvin and Rob. Honestly, we were training in like driveways and stuff because gyms were just closed down, and we were just training wherever we could. And Sunday night, Tyson called me and was like, "You want to fight Thursday in Philadelphia for Cage Fury on Fight Pass?" And I was like, "Sure." And he was like, "All right, it's your pro debut." So I just said, "All right, screw it." Like we did a catch weight. I think wasn't super heavy. I made 150 fine. And yeah, it was cool to just see like Rob, Calvin, Tyson. They all just like dropped what they were doing on 4 days' notice and drove me to Philadelphia. We like stopped in New York and New Jersey on the way for me to have medicals done. I had to have them done in like 2 different states because like New Jersey could get me in for eyes, like someone in New York could do my physical and blood. And then yeah, just went in there. Was fighting the hometown kid. So this kid sold all these tickets. I had one person there. He surprised me. This guy I taught privates for, he bought like a front row table for like 5 people and showed up by himself. And yeah, man, we went in there and threw a beating on this kid. Sean Brady was cornering him, which was cool. So like have that high level feel. He actually threw the towel in. I remember it like hitting me. The ref wasn't stopping it. I was really kind of hurting this kid, and I saw the towel hit me and was kind of confused. And I remember just looking up, being like, "Did I win?" And they were like, "Hell yeah, you won!" So that was just a cool moment. And I remember just being in the elevator, looking at Rob and Calvin, and being like, "Damn, I just got paid to do this." Like that was a cool moment for me. You know, I think I've always wanted to be a professional athlete to some degree, and it was cool to like see that come to life.
Nice. Nah, man, that's a great story. And having guys like that in your corner must have gave you a nice little confidence boost. Let me ask you a question. As we're kind of going back in your memory about some of your favorite memories, what would be something like if you had a Cage Titans fan sat down in front of you, what fight video of yours are you putting on for them to kind of that really encompasses who you are as a fighter? Like if you had, right now, if you say, "Hey, go YouTube this and go watch this fight," with me, if you kind of try to see what it's about.
They've been pretty fast and hard to find. Some of them are on like pay-per-views that you'd have to buy. Like not all of them are on YouTube. Honestly, that pro debut, that fight was sick, man. I was in the zone. I did some cool shit. Yeah, that fight was really cool. The production was cool, obviously, because it was on Fight Pass. But I think you get a good read on me in that fight of like what I'm about, what I can do. Even though that was just my first pro fight, I've evolved a ton since then. But I think that kind of lets you know, like, damn, if this was his first pro fight, like, what's he looking like now in his 10th? So I'd say that one.
Nice. I like it. And honestly, this is a shout out. People ask me, like, how does the fans, why is it different at Cage Titans? Here's a simple thing. Post your fighters' fights. Post your fighters' photos and things of that. Like, we're in the promotion business, and then we lock and key your fights or don't give you weigh-in photos or stream weigh-ins. It's like the playbook is simple. Promote these fighters, give them things to promote. So
I will say we got to get you guys. You say that about locking up photos. That fight poster you guys posted, everyone uses that picture of me, and it's from like I think that was my fight at Encore. I had the stomach bug at weigh-ins, so that those 2 days I had the stomach bug for the fight and at weigh-ins, and I had like the shittiest weight cut. I'm all drained and sucked out, just looking like shit. And everyone uses that. When you guys posted it, I was like, this is too funny. You guys are like the fourth one in a row to use that one. No one gets a new one.
Well,
But I was dying when I saw it.
you gotta hit up Tyson and tell Tyson to start circulating a new one. That's what he said.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
it is funny. You fought 7-2 as a pro, 9 times as a pro, 6-7 times as an amateur. I couldn't find a damn weigh-in photo from you to use for a poster. It was wild.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll get one. We'll get a new one for next time.
Yeah, and I say that to all the fighters. I'm like, we take new headshots every time everybody fights for us, every fight. No recycling old ones, because you think something as simple as a photo is not a big deal. Like, you got guys taking bathroom selfies for fight posters. It's like, it makes such a difference when you got, nice, crisp, clean photos. And it helps you guys promote yourself. So it's like, you need that stuff. Anyways, I won't keep you long because you said your phone goes off at 7, so you're not a night owl. But the floor is yours. You got the Cage Titans audience. We'll clip it up and send it out and do things like that. But you got the Cage Titans audience in front of you. Obviously, give a shout out to all your Combat Zone and New Hampshire fans. But tell us what we can expect from you and why we should be locked in to watch you make your Cage Titans debut against Don Shainis.
Yeah. I think January 25th, you should be locked in. Just like I said, it's 2 high-level competitors going at it. Me specifically, man, I do think I am like one of the top 3 most exciting fighters in New England. If you go watch my fights, like you won't find a boring one. Like, even I've had 2 losses. One was a split decision, and one was a banger title fight that was just like chaos. But I was doing really well. Just put myself in a bad spot and got caught. But even that, it was like nothing boring about it. I bring it every time, man. I think it's my will to always work, just in the fights. Like I'm always working, whether I'm in a bad position or what. Like I don't break, I don't like fold like that. Like I'm really clear headed in there. And I think you'll see that in my fights. Like I'm just, no matter what's going on, I'm just focused on the work and working through positions and working through the fight. So I think you can expect that from me. Just a lot of action, a lot of offense, a lot of like impressive movement, and just a well-rounded fighter. I do think I'm like, when guys come in and train with me, especially for this fight, we brought in some new people to give certain looks. I think that was what they were most surprised with, was like, damn, this kid can't just strike. Like, his wrestling's good, his jiu-jitsu's good. I think I'm that new breed. I'm that new breed of MMA, and I'm still learning, obviously, and trying to get better. And I think you're gonna just see that January 25th, like how exciting and how skilled I am.
Perfect, man. I love it. I love everything you're about. Love everything you're talking about. I can't wait to see you bring it. I guess I got one last call question for you. It's more for like, the casual fan. Obviously you come in repping New England Cartel, which, is a big shadow that it casts. How did you guys connect, and how did you get brought into that fold?
Yep. So I was getting ready for my first amateur title fight in April. It was in April of 2019. So about a month or 2 before that, I was just looking for like some more work. I was fighting an undefeated guy. I knew him, the same thing, like wrestling growing up. I knew this kid. He was really good, like state champ. Used to whoop me we wrestled the same club. Used to just like smack me around there. So a guy I knew that was like on paper should beat me. So I wanted an extra look, or just a higher level look. And Rob Font had just moved to Haverhill, which is my hometown. So I shot him a message on Instagram and was like, hey, would you be down to do some like private lessons or something like that? I don't think he'd ever really been doing private lessons yet. And honestly, I didn't expect him to respond to me. It was kind of just a shot in the dark. And then the next thing you know, he's sending me his number. He's like, give me a call, let's talk. So I'm like in my college apartment running around freaking out like, oh shit, Rob just sent me his number. And we talked on the phone, and he asked what I was looking for, and I told him, and he met me at the gym I trained at the time. It was like, that's 2 hours from where my school was. So I was driving home to train and driving back and forth from school. He saw that I was doing that and saw like how committed I was. And we trained like a couple of times a week. And it got to the point I asked him to corner me. He said yes. And then he was kind of running most of my training, and he was kind of just took over as like my head coach, introduced me to Tyson. I'd already known Calvin, obviously, because I'd fought for him. but now I was like training with him a lot. And I think they just saw like how committed I was, how hard I work, and I could wake up at 8 a.m. and Rob be in bed, and Rob would text me at 8:30, "Hey, training here at this time," and I'm shooting out of bed, getting in my car, and driving over there. Like I never miss sessions, and they saw that, especially through like the pandemic, how like I was willing to just ride it out with them and be there for them and help them get ready for their camps, and they kind of invested that same energy in me, and they've just kind of always believed in me and believed in me more than I think I believed in myself, and that's kind of how I got to where I am. And now I'm realizing like I can do this thing for real, and it's thanks to those guys. So yeah, it's kind of how I got in the mix with them, and now we're just rolling, doing big things. It's fun.
Nice, man. You guys got a busy next, month. Fun fact, I don't know if you did know, Rob Font, super nicest guy in the world. He made his amateur debut at Cage Titans back in 2011, his first ever fight, and he lost. And he's a great example I use for fighters because, he fought Nate Osis, lost the decision. And Rob was just kind of an unassuming, like, he didn't come in with a lot of hype. He didn't come in with, like, bunch of accolades. Like, it was just kind of another fight on the card. And, he lost. And then, one thing about Rob that I remember, his just work ethic is second to none. He battled back from that loss, ended up winning our amateur title. Then he fought for us as a pro against a guy named Brandon Fleming, and Brandon Fleming was a state champ wrestler, like ton of accolades. And Font just on paper shouldn't have won because he didn't have the accolades that this other guy did, but he out wrestled him, and he was just a grinder. He lived this game and he put the work in, and hard work trumps everything. And Rob's a great example of that.
Yeah, 100%, man. He's instilled that in me, and I think that's why me and him clicked right off the bat. We were both just willing to like meet up anytime, any place, no matter how far, and just get good work. And it's a relief to have that, have someone with like-minded goals and aspirations and work ethic, and I think that's why we have a special team. It's where we make sure that's like box number one. We don't care how good you are, how skilled you are, what you sell for ticket, all that, it's like we just care about what kind of person you are and are you willing to work hard and be a good teammate, and I think that's what makes our team special.
There was one thing in your last like kind of speech about when you connected with New England Cartel that I want to kind of circle back on. Here's another thing with me. I always say last question, and I always have a million because my mind's always going. But you mentioned, I think I'm assuming you're referring to Zach Richards' fight. Is that the one you're referring to when you connected with him?
Yes.
I love what you said. You were going into a fight with a guy that you thought you would lose to, or you mentioned how he out wrestled you and things. That's something amazing to see as amateurs, because a lot of amateurs nowadays are looking to pad their records and post on social media. Take me through that mindset of like signing the dotted line to fight a guy that in your mind you would lose to.
Yeah, and it's like what was even more intimidating was like I have physically lost to a degree to that kid, like in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like I just knew he like was just a better wrestler than me, or was at one point, But it's exciting. Like I said, man, earlier in this interview, like I love competing. I love competition. I love challenging myself. Like I'm not this like hardo kind of like, oh, I like fighting and fucking people up. Like, sure, like part of it's fun, but like it's the ultimate challenge to me. Like that's why they call it ultimate fighting, I guess, right? Like it is the most high risk thing. So like getting to do that in that fight, and then like I don't know, that conquered. I feel like that kind of set the pace for my fighting career. Like I conquered that demon, that fear, and I went in there and freaking out wrestled the kid for 5 rounds. I think I took him down like 10 times. Just rode him out, beat him up on top. Like honestly, I said no boring fights. Maybe that one was kind of boring. That's like my one. Like I just went in there and kind of laid on a kid for 5 rounds and beat him up. But outside of that, I learned how to strike after that fight. But yeah, man, like most of my amateur fights, I never fought anyone with a losing record. I fought kids who like in a debut, but my second fight I lost an amateur was an undefeated kid, and then bounced one back and then beat Zach. And then my next fight, defending that belt, that dude was supposed to make his pro debut that night, and his opponent fell through, and they asked if I would fight him and defend my belt. That kid had a ton of experience, and he was huge. He was a 55er caught into 45 for the first time. And then my last Amy fight is a kid who all his wins whereby my one loss. And I said, yes, like that's the fight I want. And ended up knocking that kid out and like facing that demon. Like this kid, all his wins are guillotine, which was the only way I lost. So I'm not afraid of like, I know when you go pro, it's like you have those first couple of fights and it's like you got to let the managers do their thing. But I mean, even my pro debut is a tough kid. That kid had a couple belts now. He's doing his thing. He fought in PFL. I've had some hard fights, man. I fought Nate Kareem on freaking 2 days' notice. Like, you know, I'm not afraid to get in there. And I think guys are so focused on results and like, oh, what if I lose? So what? You freaking lose and you go do it again and you try again and you just keep getting better. So, like I said, I'm not focused on results. I'm focused on work and challenging myself. And I think that's why I kind of have some success, you know, and I think that's why I'm going to have success in January.
Well, there you go, man. Well, hey, man, I kept you longer than I thought I was going to keep you. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you holding off bedtime. I know I speak for myself and I speak for the rest of the Cage Fight community. I'm excited to have you January 25th take on Don Shainis. You know, thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure we'll talk in the upcoming weeks.
Of course, thank you, and thanks again for the opportunity. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the 25th.
All right, see you then. All right, there we go. All right, let's go. Woo! Sorry, Zach Cyril. I'm not getting into your comments today. Let's see if I have any other catch-ups. Let's see what else we have in the comment field. Mad respect, Dylan Napoleon. Mad respect to both guys, best of skill guys. Looking forward to seeing these two go to war. Honestly, this is and that's the part that I think the Cage Titans world has to kind of get behind is understanding who Tom Pags is you know, this kid is legit. And this though Shainis has been to the UFC, this still might be the toughest test he's had. You know, Pags comes in. He's a long, rangy striker, as he talked about being able to be he was a wrestler, so he has the ground game. It's just going to be an incredible fight here in Plymouth. So I think you guys are in for a treat. And if you haven't already, go Google Tom Pags. Go look at some of his past fights. I know he said it's kind of tough to find him, but you know, go watch some of his highlight clips and see what he's all about. Really. Does he have a belt somewhere else? That's a great question. I don't think so. He was the champ at NEF and he was the champ at Combat Zone as an amateur. This would be his first pro title. So yeah. And just to give you an idea, Nate Garib, everybody knows who Nate Garib is. You know, a champ, I think, at Combat FC and CES. He went to a split decision with him. So yeah, man, just I don't think this will be his first title. And then, you know, I was trying to stay off the topic because this is about Tom Pags, but, you know, he does train with New England Cartel. And, you know, it's something you got to kind of mention. And, you know, he's training with Font, who has they just announced today against Dominic Cruz at the end of February. Calvin Cater also has a fight in February, UFC fight. I forget who he's taking on. Connor Matthews has a fight in the UFC in mid-February. You know, so like these guys are kicking on all cylinders. They're all getting ready for big fights. And I'm sure the energy in there is just off the hook. So I don't know what he said. Oh no, Tom, I thought you shut your phone off. I was letting you go. But yeah, he said, no, he does not have any belts in another promotion. So, you know, this will be his first title that he's going for us. But yeah, definitely toughest test for Don on the local scene. I've seen Pags fights. He's no joke. Definitely Fred Wynn. Joe Penafiel, want Valdina. Yes, I know I didn't really hit on it at the beginning of the show, but if you did miss the news yesterday, I believe it was, that it dropped. Unfortunately, the party in Valdina will owned. You know, Valdina came up with a little lame in the training with an injury. You know, so unfortunately I had to pull out. I know the party's working on a few things in his home front as well. So we're going to push this fight back. So many people are excited about it. We had Shainis on. He's like, the fight I'm looking forward to most is the party versus Valdina. I guess news didn't get to him that fight was off, but I didn't want to stop him there. But the party will be back. You know, we love having the party. You know, but sometimes things happen for a reason, and we'll push this fight back. Let Valdina get straightened out. Let the party get some things straightened out. And these guys both want each other. It's a fight that they both want. The fans are looking forward to it. Unfortunately, sometimes it's just, part of the fight game. Injuries happen. Things come up. So that fight will be postponed. But with that being said, the fight card is incredible. We just had Pags on. We had Shainis on. We do have the OG title, Kenny Champion taking on champion Kenny Champion taking on champion Greg Jones, which since the OG title was created last year, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of people putting their names in. So that should be a great fight. Thank you, Party. Mike Pulver for the mayor of Plymouth. Maybe one day, you never know. But there's that's an incredible fight. A lot of people have been putting their names in to try to get other weight classes going for the OG title. I know Max Lombard hit me up asking about a heavyweight OG title. So we'll see. It's a lot of fun, but Kenny Champion, what makes him exciting as a challenger is because he just turned 45. So he's kind of hitting that age where he would be the OG if you think the OG title stands for old guy, but he's also OG if you think the title stands for original gangster, as in he's been fighting for so many years, 10 plus years. He's one of the original guys who fought for Cage Titans. He won a Cage Titans amateur title. So he kind of fits both, both kind of realms of whatever you want OG to stand for. As like Greg Jones, he's 50 years old. He just started fighting, I think 3 years ago with Cage Titans. And so he kind of, when we created the title, it was the OG for the old guy, which he didn't love me calling it that, but that was it. And now we have a challenger kind of that is the OG because he is older at 45 and he's been fighting for so many years. So what else we got? Janelle, I can't wait for the Party Valdina fight for the belt. And that's one of the things that, speaking of that fight, when we had the unfortunate phone call with Valdina, and the conversation with the Party, the first thing Valdina said was like, listen, I understand you got to do what you got to do if Party's going to fight somebody else. I got it. I understand. But if he's willing to wait, it's the fight that I really do want. And the sentiment was displayed on the other end with the party as well. Like, listen, let's push this back. I want you getting 100% Party. I want 100% Valdina. Some people threw their name in the hat to kind of jump in, but both guys, it's kind of like, I don't want to call it the John Jones versus Stipe, but it is a little bit like that, where both guys have expressed the desire to fight the other and kind of not have any, they kind of have blinders on each other where they're not looking at others. They're kind of just solely focused on that fight, and that's the fight that they want. So we're going to hold off and get that fight going again. So what else we got? We got that fight. Oh, today's fight that I talked about earlier. We have Ali Zabian taking on Jack Condon, which is an incredible fight. Let me see if I can present my screen. Because we're waiting on Ron Marshall to call in as well as Ozzy Martin. So let's see if they're ready. Are you ready? I told Ron 8:30 to 8:45, so I'm a little bit behind. Hopefully he didn't go to bed for the night. But yeah, here we go. Let's try to take a peek here. So here we go. Let's just check out this fight card here. Let's go right down the line. Obviously, Tom Pags versus Shainis, which we talked about. Here's the Kenny Champion versus Greg Jones. Ali Zabian versus Jack Condon. Man, incredible fight there. Ali is going up to 170. He's had his last couple of fights at 170. But let's not forget he holds a title. He holds a victory over lightweight champion Peter Barrett. So Ali Zabian versus Jack Condon. Natalie Schlesinger taking on Hillary Rose. Fun fact about this fight. Natalie Schlesinger, this is her second time for Cage Titans. She fought Ashley Barrett the last fight before COVID, I believe. Cage Titans 47. Actually, it might have been the first fight back from COVID, actually. And she took on Ashley Barrett, beat her, and now the bigger sister's coming, and Hillary Rose, and now looking for some revenge in the pro ranks. I got Ron Marshall calling in. If he has, I see him in the queue, so I'm going to pull him in. It's right on cue. Ron Marshall making his 170 debut, fought for Cage Titans, holds a win over Fabio Charant, former UFC fighter. He's been fighting for Cage Titans for a long time, taking on the debut in Ozzy Martin. And then the last pro fight, Kenyon Moore out of Texera, MMA, taking on Trevor Goody, a fight from last card that we moved over. So without further ado, I didn't get it. He didn't go to bed on me. So we got Ron Marshall. I'm stoked to see him representing Anubis back where he started, both in the gym and with Cage Titans. So without further ado, here he is. What's going on, Ron?
Hey, Mike. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. Is that a soccer jersey? Is that Ronaldo?
Yeah, my buddy just went to Brazil, brought this back from Brazil for me. So this is a Neymar jersey, the official national.
Oh,
so showing some love.
Nice. My daughter will hate me for
appreciate the
my daughter will hate me for getting it wrong. She's a big soccer fan.
Yeah, Neymar, he's one of the best. So what's going on, man?
So not much, man. So it's been a while since you've been with here as Cage Titans. What have you been up to as of late? And Ron Marshall looking slim, WTF from Zach Cyril. Tell us what you've been up to and about the move down to 170.
Yeah, just been working hard. Kind of reassessed a lot of things in my life, made a lot of lifestyle changes. Listening to Pags, just sort of listening to him talk is inspiring, but he's just talking about the hard work, and that's really just all I've been about lately. And then just refusing to go out the way I went out, like I always prided myself on fighting the best guys, but I always know that I didn't leave it all out there. And it's just exciting to come down to a lower weight. I'm in the best shape of my life and just excited to get in there and leave it all in there. Yeah, that's the same guy.
You're getting a lot of people in the comments. 170. You sure this is the same guy?
It's the same guy. Yeah.
Good for you. Very happy.
3 years.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because you fought as a heavyweight before. I think your last fight with us was against Roger Brackett. Victor, you beat Roger Brackett at 205, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. And I used to walk around about 230 pounds, and my normal walk around weight is about 180. That's my normal walk around weight, never mind a fight cut or a weight cut or anything like that. So, yeah, best shape of my life, full gas tank, excited to be back. Yeah.
So, what was kind of at this point in your career, the thought process in, like you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like, is this like, hey, I want to get back to my best fighting shape and kind of make a little bit of a run, make some noise, just kind of, you said not go out the way you did. Is this like just to kind of get back and kind of go out on a win? What's kind of the mindset?
It's a little bit of everything mixed in, but the main motivation behind all this was that my daughter has never seen me fight. She's 7 years old now. She knows that I did fight. But she had been asking me for a while, Dad, when can I see you fight? When can I see you fight? And I told her when I'm ready, and so I made it a mission to get ready and just to work hard. And that's kind of what led to the start of it. And then just getting back into it, getting the love back for the game and just knowing that, I got to give it another shot. I got to be able to live with myself and look myself in the eyes and say I did everything I could the right way. And then no matter what happens, I'll be okay. But just knowing that I put everything I had into it. And then just, what did I say? When you offered me this fight, I told you I'll say yes to anybody. That's how I've always been. I've never thought about anybody when I've been offered a fight. I've taken the fight. And knowing that I'm going up against a real killer, that's what gets me going, just like every person I've ever fought. In the past, I've always maybe had some nerves, maybe been underprepared. I still got in there with a lot of people I wasn't ready for. But I'm just ready to go.
Nice, man. We were talking about the OG title before you came on. You've been fighting this coming up in April. It'll be 9 years since your debut. So you've been around a while as well. And I got to be honest, I got to jump on the bandwagon. I said it in the DMs, but you look the same as you did 9 years ago. You haven't looked like you aged at all. You're aging backwards.
Yeah, you had mentioned that. I appreciate that, and I think that's just a sign of taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, cutting out all bad habits or anything, eating habits. I haven't drank in over 5 years. I quit drinking. Just a lot of lifestyle changes that I made, and just become the best version of myself. And now it's just time to give it a go. Let's just see what happens, So I know who I'm fighting. I know he's coached by, obviously I used to go to Nostos, so I know what they're about over there. A lot of killers over there, good team, good coaches, and I got nothing but respect for all of them, but I like to challenge myself. And that's what I'm excited about.
So, before we get on to getting too deep into the fight, you're back training with Dom at Nuvis?
I'm training at a Jazz Boxing right now. Jazz Boxing.
Okay.
I'm also at a jiu-jitsu gym over in Northampton, so I put the work in there. And but I am training. Dom's my main trainer.
Nice. Kind of getting back to your roots a little bit.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you are definitely a guy who's never been afraid to fight anybody. And you're absolutely correct. Anytime that you've reached out, it's like, I don't care who it is, just give me a name. And it's like, hey, most guys are like, they'll ask me a laundry list of things about people. And you truly have just been like, yes, yes, yes. Fast forwarding to your opponent here in Ozzy Martin. What are you looking forward to most in this matchup? And is there anything that stands out to you that you think you can kind of exploit, or you have the edge in?
I'm just looking forward to getting in there and competing at a high level and just showcasing kind of what I know has always been inside of me, but that I've never really shown, And I think there's some things that can carry over for me. One, I think my strength's still going to carry over. I'm very strong for my size, and that's the main thing I'm heading in there though, and also my gas tank. Like I don't get tired, so anything can happen in a fight, and we'll see what happens.
Nice. For guys who haven't seen you, because I'm looking right now real quick, you made your debut at Cage Titans 28, which is jumped off the page at me, which is insane. There we are at 69. Your last fight for us was right before COVID, Cage Titans 46. So for guys who might kind of forget about Ron Marshall, why should they be excited? The talk will be about the Amateur Fighter of the Year, Ozzy Martin, but why should fans, remind them why they should be out here watching you? And as somebody just wrote in the comments, Tyler King wrote, "Lamb to the slaughter." What do you have to say and remind these fans, what it's about for Ron Marshall to be inside that cage?
I mean, first off, to address Tyler, I think that's a lot of the feedback that I get from a lot of people. And to me, it's just straight hate when I'm someone who's always challenged myself, always stepped up to fight anybody and everybody that's ever been offered to me. I think Tyler's a little salty because at one point he was trying to get me to fight one of his guys, I think Daniel Mola, a while back, and I think I misinterpreted it, and I thought that he wanted to fight me. So he got all butthurt about that, and he never let it go since then. So it is what it is. But why you should be excited to tune in for me is that just tune in and see I'm someone who's never given up. I'm someone who's not afraid to go after something, and now I'm standing on something behind it. I put the hard work in. So lamb to the slaughter. Hey, we'll see.
Yeah, man. I think that for me to kind of talk about why they should be excited is you're looking at your record, the guys you fought and the levels of guys you fought, Fabio Sharon, William Knight, both UFC guys. You hold the win over Fabio Sharon. Guys like Jesse McElliott, going deep into the fights with him. This is never a layup for anybody. And on any given day, I'm excited for this fight now on my camera. There I am. I'm excited for this fight. But before we let you go, any last parting words? I mean, you mentioned you're fighting for your daughter. I mean, I love that as a father of 5 myself. I'm assuming she's going to be there. And any last shout outs that you want to give to family or friends?
Yeah, the main thing is I fought all these guys when I wasn't anywhere close to the best version of myself. So I'm coming in the absolute best version of myself, and I'm ready to put on a show in there. I just want to give a shout out to everybody. Like I said, anybody who's helped me prepare for this, they all know who they are, my sponsors, my family, my friends. I got a pretty big crowd coming there. I think I have close to 50 people coming down. I've never had more than 10 people come to a fight. I got a lot of people showing love and support. And that's it. I know there'll be a lot of haters there as well, but it to me, it doesn't make sense to hate on somebody who's always challenged himself and always, just been there, been in the fire. And I fought these guys, a lot of these guys, when I wasn't even close to ready, and I still showed up and I still went most 3 rounds with almost every guy. And that's it. We'll see what happens, man. There's time to talk and there's time to fight, and I'm ready to come back in there and show what I got. So that's it.
Well, there you go, man. I was at, you definitely, your tickets will be there on Wednesday. I'll send you the tracking number when we get off air. I was going to say that, I don't think you've ever asked for tickets for your fight. So you definitely got a crew coming down. It shows the dedication and you're excited to show everybody your craft. And, I'm excited to see this new Ron Marshall debut, so to speak, re-debut at Cage Titans. So thank you for your time tonight. And we'll see you in a few short weeks.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Mike. I'll see you.
All right. See you later, man. All right. There you go. Mr. Ron Marshall. So there you go. There's Ron Marshall. It looks like we missed out on Ozzy tonight. I know he was training, but we got to hear from Ron, and maybe next week we can recycle with Ozzy and try to get him on. But we're approaching the hour mark, 9:30. Mikey, give me a shout out on my new location. This is the Cage Titans home office. I haven't got a chance to decorate yet, so I get some posters over here. Maybe I'll get something here. I don't know. I got to get a new camera. This is just kind of a last minute thing. Andy, if you missed the beginning of the show, Andy bought a dog, so he didn't want to leave the dog on the second night home. So I kind of pulled the audible, and instead of driving to Quincy and doing the show at the studio, I said, let me try to quickly put together the office. So I got my desk put together, but that's about as far as I got. So anyways, so there you go, guys. That's the fight card. We went over all the pro fights. I'll quickly go over. I'm check my phone. Tyler's getting to me on the phone now. He wrote, he said, Ron's already gone, Tyler, so I won't mention it. But if you haven't already, go check out the Cage Titans website. I'm going to throw it up on the screen here real quick. We went over the pro fights. Here's the undercard real quick. I'll go kind of give it a real quick shot down the list. We got strawweight fight. I've talked about it at the beginning of the show. Tara Wamsley taking on Ariana Buchaccio out of US MMA. We got Brandon Walker from Ascension Athletics taking on Ryan Kennedy out of Lausanne. Colin Houghton out of Mohawk Martial Arts taking on Drew Arpin out of Lausanne MMA. Tito Medina taking on Matt McIntyre out of The Lab. Jack Barry out of Ascension Athletics taking on Evan Hughes out of New England Submission Fighting, Carrick Janessa's gym. Tristan Wood out of Gorilla Crew. Jake Pillar's school taking on Mohawk Martial Arts. Etta Gomez. Alyssa Totora out of Lausanne MMA taking on Gorilla Cruz. Melissa Santos making a return. Gavin O'Connell circled this one, taking on Jordan Tavares. Then we got Johnny Gomez out of Marandola Martial Arts taking on Matt Martinez. Rafael Ferreira out of Texas MMA taking on Ryan Genis out of Freestyle Striking. Derek Reed out of Marandola Martial Arts taking on Ryan Maniscalco in a Muay Thai bout. Our second Muay Thai bout, Ryan Texera out of Texera MMA taking on Mike Salazar out of Regiment Training. In our third Muay Thai bout, Timmy Walsh out of Independent Fighter making his move from MMA to Muay Thai, taking on Will Latora out of Red Seal. There is the fight card. That's it, man. That's all I got for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, we'll be back in studio looking for a couple more fighters to call in, interview, and get to know them a little bit better. And we've been talking about this fight card since November, and we're finally here. We're through the holidays. We're through the award season. Cage Titans 69 is coming up. It's less than, 3 weeks? less than 3 weeks away. So get your tickets. Tickets are going crazy. They're already sold out of front rows. They're already sold out of mezzanine VIP boxes. Stage VIP box sold out. Very close to being sold out of mezzanine tickets. I believe only floor and upper balconies left. So hit up your favorite fighter. Get your tickets. Do not wait. This is not promoter bullshit talking. It's legit. Just go get your tickets. It's a huge fight card. There's 18 fights on this card, and some heaters. So get your tickets. Yeah. Oh man, I always say it's sold out. I'll throw up this comment. I always say it because I can't stress it enough. Because every Cage Titans event sells out. And this is just something to brag, or it's not like a small flex. It's just like every show sells out, and I say it every time. And then inevitably, the week of the fight, 2 weeks before, got any more tickets? Can I get more tickets? Oh, can I get more tickets? No, there isn't any more. I say it all the time. I'm just like the fighters when they're trying to tell you that they're fighting at the end of the month, and you wait to the last week to hit them up to get their tickets when they're cutting weight and getting ready. Don't wait. I can't say it enough. Go get your tickets. Cage Titans 69. It's going to be an incredible night of fights. There you have it, guys. Yeah, if Zach Cyril sneaks you in, oh man. Anyways, that's all I got for you tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Don Shainis, Tom Pagliarulo. I forgot to ask him how it's pronounced. Tom Bags, and Ron Marshall for calling in. I'm sure Ozzy's prepping, so we'll get Ozzy on next week maybe. So thank you. And cheers to Andy and the new dog. Didn't have anything to drink. This is an old soda can from when I was setting up. So cheers, everybody. Have a good night. Talk to you next week.
Let's hear it for Shameless Don Shainis!
It's Tom Pagliarulo, who will be looking to claim the Cage Titans featherweight strap.
Do know me, know I'm like a fan favorite just because I'm never in a boring fight, man. I'm not gonna just like fight to win. Like I'm always actually gonna bring it. So they're in for a treat.
In there isn't to just fucking get in. I want to make someone quit. I want someone to scream uncle. I want someone to fucking say stop.
I think on the regional scene, I've slowly progressed in the level of fights I'm taking. I've been in wars. I think I'm ready for it.
Let's hear it for Shameless Don Shainis!
It's Tom Pagliarulo, who will be looking to claim the Cage Titans featherweight strap.
Do know me, know I'm like a fan favorite just because I'm never in a boring fight, man. I'm not gonna just like fight to win. Like I'm always actually gonna bring it. So they're in for a treat.
In there isn't to just fucking get in. I want to make someone quit. I want someone to scream uncle. I want someone to fucking say stop.
I think on the regional scene, I've slowly progressed in the level of fights I'm taking. I've been in wars. I think I'm ready for it.